Welcome back everyone to another add-on showcase, and today we're going to be doing a review on Survival Mechs 1.1 add-on, which is made by Nox Crew, the guys that came up with Minecraft Championship Island. You know, that one server where people mostly do PvP and just have a fun time on there. But let me just go ahead and read the overview. So it says, enhance your survival experience with the Survival Mechs Add-on. Update 1.1 includes the early game Prototype Mech, custom paint kits, and a crafting book. And there's a lot of information here, such as craft and unleash the power of 7 mechs, slice through mobs with a giant sword, mine through mountains, chop down forests, grow plants in seconds, travel with great speed, and launch TNT at your enemies. So you're pretty much just going to be walking around in a mech suit. And I also have a link in the description if you guys ever want to purchase this add-on, and you can just use the link without no cost to you. It's just going to help the channel out, and I am an affiliate with Minecraft, or the Minecraft Marketplace. But anyways, let's just go ahead and boot up this world. Alright, so we are officially boot up in our Bedrock world, and we have set up this little dome here. So what I have in this chest is the Survival Mechs user guide. And there is a way to craft this. Just use the crafting grid here, and then you'll see the recipe, which requires redstone dust, an iron ingot, and a book. Sounds quite affordable. So all you just got to do is open the guidebook. So it just gives you a whole tour of how to use spawn crafting, first time guides, mech details, extra tools and tips, and credits as well. So if you just want to read more information or possibly contact the creators if the add-on is still buggy and such. So let me just read a little bit of what it says here. Survival Mechs by Nox Crew. Welcome to the Survival Mechs Add-on. Mechs are rideable robots which make your life easier. They can help you grow plants, dig, mine, travel, or defeat monsters. Press the buttons below to learn about the features available. Unsure where to start? Press the first time guide. So if I just click this, so it tells you how to begin making the mechs and such. So it says right here, let's learn how to craft and use a mech. We need to get items to make our mech. To make the mech frame, you'll need the following. So it tells you need 6 iron ingots, 1 piece of leather, 1 furnace, and 1 redstone block. And it says craft the mech frame at the crafting table, then spawn it in an open space. Next, then we need fuel, and then it just continues on with how to give your mech fuel, such as coal or charcoal. And then you start seeing more information that tells you how to interact with your mech. And then it tells you like these are all the burnable items that you can use just to keep the mech going. And then you have mech modules, and then it tells you. But the way how they're telling you here is mostly just ingredients just to pick up on the way. But if you guys want to know how to craft the stuff, just make sure you have this tool tip on to make your life a little bit easier. Like you can see that this is how you make the prototype. This is how you make the mech. But I'm pretty sure the mech frame is the most important thing to have. And you also need the mech control just to operate the mech. But currently we are in survival. And I just gotta spawn in a mech. I know, I could have just crafted it just to be legit. You know what? I think I should go ahead and just craft it legitimately. Which is, let me see here. So if we want to make the mech frame, just get a block of redstone, furnace, piece of leather. And it does feel like I want to play survival just to see what happens if you technically try to make this mech while actually doing this. Because all you just need is iron, redstone, and other things. And there's a creeper right here. But let me just go back inside because I don't want to get killed by a creeper. But it does feel daring that I want to go out and craft. But let me just go into game mode creative, hypothetically, because all we just need, like it says, all we just need is some iron ingots, a furnace. I think not a blast furnace, but I think just a regular furnace. And redstone block. And let me see if that is the correct ingredient just to make the mech. Because I had to try to recognize the recipes too. Like, this one tells me like what I can make with redstone, but I could just look here. If I want to make a mech frame, oh, I forgot a piece of leather. I mean, I could slay that horse there, but I don't want to do that. So let me just go to creative mode again. I am a little bit tired, so I'm trying my best to keep focus on the showcase. So all you just got to do is do like this. Get your iron, and then you got yourself your mech frame. So when you have this mech frame, if you try to spawn this thing, let me just see here. Spawn it in an open space, and that is your mech. So right now it has 0 fuel and 20 health, because that's how much health it has, but it's a very tanky, rideable entity if you ever try to think about controlling a mech or operating a mech. So now that we have that mech sitting right outside, I think the prototype is mostly made out of wood. So it's pretty much like running tests on something first, then do it later. It's kind of like one of those. But once you make the mech, then you have to make the mech control, which requires redstone, iron ingot, and any type of button just to operate the mech. And I think I should just go into creative for the most part, and then just get the mech controller. All I just need is the mech controller. So mech controller and some coal or charcoal. I'm just going to use charcoal. And I know they have some add-ons because you can also add little things to it. You also have the mech repair kit, which I might have to see the recipe that for these, and the mech decraft kit. I think you can also decraft your mech. You also have prototype mech decraft kit, so I guess the stuff is pretty much just decrafting. You also have mech fuel. There's just a lot of things you got to study with this mod. I mean, it may look very simple, but it sounds quite sophisticating. So let me just go into survival. And I just want to aboard on this mech. And then as you can see that now we're operating the mech. But ever since you can actually see it needs fuel, just put my coal in here. And it should be able to move. We can jump in it. Right now we can't really do much. And it says this mech has no mech modules attached. So we actually got to give this mech some upgrades. Because I think I remember it used to be coal, and then we got mech fuel, which I think you got to make this just for it to... Yeah. Yeah, you can see that the fuel went up 20%. Yeah, it's been a long time that I've actually used this mod. So it showed that we have to make the fuel itself. So let me just check here. So mech fuel. Oh, just basically charcoal or coal and just put it in there to get mech fuel. It does tell you in the book. It's going to tell you a lot of stuff in the book. You also have mech upgrade kits. That's if you just want to upgrade your mech to be a lot stronger. It's just a lot of things you can do, but I actually want to see like what else we can do with it. Let me just set it today to keep this thing alive and the showcase bright so we can actually see like what we're working with. So let me just hop on to creative mode one more time. And this time I'm going to look at the upgrades on the modules. So this is the modules it says. So you have all these modules. So you have chop, warrior, grow, jewel, mining, speed, TNT, and prototype modules. So I think the prototype modules are like example modules. So I think, let me just see here. So we have all these modules, which they are craftable, because I know they are. So let me just do this, then go into survival, and it should tell you like how to craft these. This one for the warrior one requires a diamond sword and some gold swords. The grow one requires bone blocks and iron, jewel, a lot of diamond pickaxes, mining, iron tools, speed, nether warts, and this one TNT. And I know TNT is a lot more chaotic since it has a lot of explosions and such. So let me go and hop on my mech. Since there are no modules installed to this, I'm not sure I need to add it in here. Is that how it works? So no. So do I have to like pull you out and then? Okay, so you actually got to click on your mech. So that's how it works. And can I also stack? Let me see if I can stack. Oh, you got to use the decraft kit to remove the module. That makes total sense. And the good news is we are in survival mode. This thing will keep firing as many TNTs out, whatever I feel. It's kind of crazy that we're using a mech to do our work. I know, horse, I am causing a lot of havoc here, but this is one way to make mining a lot easier or excavation a bit easier. Like, all you just gotta do is just keep spamming TNT. And I'm not sure if this is immune to fall damage, because I know this mech isn't like fall damage proof, but it makes me feel like I do want to test an example like that. So we have to use the decrafter. So that means mech decraft kit. Not sure you need like tons of these. Alright, so we have the decraft kit, and then we just click it, which removes the TNT module, and also has durability. Interesting. So we have speed. If we give you speed, ooh, that's some nice colors. Wow, even the mech look very strange the way how it's running. That looks very strange. Like, this is speed. I'm really trying to see, like, how fast are we going in this mech? Like, we have like very slow, primitive, you know, mechanical speed, but it's not that type of speed. It's like, it's still a clunky version of speed. So let me see here. But hey, it's still a work in progress. Then we have grow. Let's see here. Okay, seems like you have hose on. So if I gotta use my remote. Okay, so it basically bone meals. So interesting way to bone meal. Just sit there and just water the flowers. Even the animation looks cool. So that's grow, basically bone mealing. And then we have chop. Ooh, saws? Okay, so let me see here. Since we have saws or chop, we can try to cut down some trees. Let's see here. Ooh. That's kind of cool. We're basically stripping a lot of the wood away. And it also does utilize our fuel. So we gotta be mindful about whenever we use these options or actions, we gotta keep the fuel up on the mech. So that means if you want to keep it going, you gotta keep putting your coal and charcoal in to keep this thing nice and charged. So that's what chop does on the module for chop. Now we have warrior. Okay, so let me see what you're capable of. So it basically just melee? Pretty much just melee, but I don't know how much damage, because I really want to see how much damage does that swing do. So let me spawn in an iron golem, just as an example here. So let me see. You can go into survival, and we are using the warrior module. So let me click you. 2, 3. Wow. So it seems like the iron golem can actually best the mech. That is quite impressive if you think about how it survived a few of those hits. So I got spawned in another mech. I mean, it does kind of sound like cheating, but I'll say this mech is not. It's not. It's just not designed to take on iron golems. And I know it also lost the upgrade too, because he destroyed the whole mech in like one tap. So the golem is pretty strong. So let me just charge you back up. And we have Jewel. I don't know what that is. So let me see what Jewel does. What? What just happened? Okay. So it's basically like excavating in a sense. And the range is just... I'm looking at the range of this. That is OP. That's OP. That's like good for clearing out the bottom. So that was Jewel, and then we have mining. I think for this one, it's going to be big drills. And I think this one's just for basically straight up excavation. Look at this. It's very OP just to have this working. Okay, so I'm not sure we can like attack the iron golem with drills on. Well, the only thing I can do is trap him in a hole. That's all I can do to him. But I'm not sure if that's everything with the mech. Because I know the mech is not strong when it comes down to iron golems. But it's still very useful. So what else have I not tried before? I know... Okay, we also have the mech crafting guide. The prototype mech control. I do want to see how this works. Because you also have like the prototype repair. So say for example that iron golem was damaging my mech, I would have to use the repair kits that I have here just to fix it up. But again, in certain cases, the mob might destroy it a lot faster than me actually repairing it. So it's kind of like, gotta still deal with the limitations. But this one is the prototype one. It looks a lot less metallic and it's mostly wooden, but it should still operate. But it has like very limited modules that you can apply to this. And I think this one also requires fuel. Let me just get this thing some juice. Go to let me just go into survival. Hypothetically, so since we have drill, it still works. It still works like a typical mech. Every time you use an action, it does use durability and fuel. But it seems like the only one that I would probably use is this one. Because this one, you can actually have more upgrades, while the prototype is kind of like very basic. But I could still think about using the prototype just to cut down some trees and do some mining. Plus, it just makes mining a bit easier, but It does make me think about one thing though. Will I be able to harvest ancient debris with it? Because I think that is going to be the next test, or the final test. Because I just want to see how capable is this mech suit. Because I know it has a lot of uses, but I just want to see how durable and how strong it is. Because it can be used in multiple cases. Plus, I just want to see how the prototype would also handle it too. I mean, it probably wouldn't even really matter since they're both kind of function the same way. But this time I'm just going to go ahead and set up like a little set like some basic little obstacle course where I have to somehow break a 3x3 of whatever these blocks are, but I gotta give them all a fair rating based on how efficient that I can cut through this. But I know this one is going to be for the iron one, and this one is going to be for the wooden one. So that means I gotta do the wooden one first. Sorry, gotta do the wooden one first, and then do the iron one, just to see the efficiency difference. Because it might be very subtle, but at least I get to see the data of just trying to run these two machineries side by side. Plus, I also gotta give it more fuel, because of course each of these actions are going to require some fuel. So let me set out the drones, not the drones, the mechs. So we get the prototype and the Mech 1, but I think they're called frames. So, and you can actually see there's a slight size difference too. This one is like a little bit taller. This was a little bit shorter, but that's just the visual appeal of these type of machinery. So I'm just going to give this one all the fair there, and then, okay. So this one is the prototype mine one. This one I'm going to get is, where's the other one? Mine, there we go. Mining module. So I'm just going to try the mining modules. So there you go. There you go. So let me just go into survival. This time we're going to try is the prototype. Use the prototype control to make it easier. So all we just gotta do is break. Okay. So I'm trying to break this obsidian. But as you can see, I can't break through it. Interestingly. That doesn't work here. Okay. So it doesn't work on solids. So let me try the mech. Let's see if you can break through this. You can't break through this. You can't break through this. That is kind of insane. So, it's sort of like it doesn't break obsidian at all. So if I place down a piece of obsidian and I do like this, so it doesn't break very hard blocks. That is interesting. So if I say, will I have the ability to harvest like metals? Because I'm really trying to understand like how does this work? Like, can I still be able to harvest like at least one of the compacted versions of the original blocks? So let me just do this one more time, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just conclude my whole showcase for the Mechs mod, or the Survival Mechs mod, or add-on. Keep getting those both confused because I am very exhausted. So let me just go to survival. This time, let's try to see if we can at least try to break these type of materials. Okay, so we can definitely break diamond. Can we break you? No, we can't break you in the mech. Okay, so it can definitely break like the very basics of the blocks here. So that's a good sign. However, there is a creeper right there, and I did not see you there. No, creeper, leave me alone. Let me just get into my mech. Will I be able to survive the explosion? I don't know. But I think I've already know the answer. I just know that it cannot destroy netherite. So there is some limitations, but let me try the prototype. The prototype can also break diamond. Interesting. So I'm just going to say they're very good as tools if you ever want to make things easier. They're very easy to make. All you just need is a furnace, iron, and some redstone. And to make the controller, just some redstone and iron. I mean, it's going to be very easy to acquire iron once you think you have enough to make like an anvil. Then you can pretty sure make your first mech. And then once you have your mech, you'll just basically just be playing the game on a mech, barely mining primitively, but it's going to be very efficient. But I'm not sure about if it can take on the Ender Dragon or the Warden, because I think if I'm trying to be familiar with this before, I think I did try to do a showcase on this, and then I just went like, it wasn't worth the time, or I was probably overcrowded with many things on my mind. But now that I have showcased it, it's actually very interesting in its own way, but it does make things very efficient and quite sci-fi if you ever just want to build like a machine immediately instead of just using a wooden pickaxe and just break stone like you're still in the Stone Age. You can just immediately drill in with your prototype or mech, and then you can just have an easier time playing Minecraft. But if you guys enjoyed this showcase, then I am very thankful for your time. And the download will be in the description, or the link to the add-on will be in the description if you just want to give it a try. Because I'm trying to remember how much this cost, but it's been a long time. I haven't checked the marketplace for anything. So I'm just going to say this will cost some money. And if you do use the link just to purchase this add-on or DLC or whatever it is, then you may get a reduced price. But I'm not for certain, but I just know that it's just going to help the channel out with no cost to you. But until then, I'll see you guys next time with another add-on showcase for Minecraft Bedrock Edition.